Matthew said, thanks, Trent. Like Matthew said, my name is Annalise Curran. I'm originally from South Dakota, and then I went to school in Nebraska. I just graduated last May. I grew up in a Catholic family, going to Mass every Sunday, even when we were out of town. My parents sent me to Catholic school, elementary and middle school, and then I went to public high school. And when I went to college, I got really involved in my Newman Center. So that's the Catholic church that was on campus. I got involved in the Catholic sorority there. I got involved in like the pro-life club. And on Thursdays, something that was really cool that we did was everybody would get together and we would have Mass at like 10 o'clock at night, and it would be called our community nights. And everybody would get together, we would have Mass, and then afterwards we would have like a party with like music and food and stuff. It was really fun. I remember this one community night specifically, the priest gave a homily that I will remember. I don't remember what the readings were about at all. I don't remember what songs we sang because I was probably singing in the choir. I don't remember what the rest of his homily was about, but I do remember this one specific part. He said, imagine that there's a whiteboard right next to you, such as this one right here. And he said, draw a line from one side of the whiteboard to the other side of the whiteboard. And then he said, imagine that that line goes all the way to the other side of the room. And then imagine that it goes all the way to the other side of the building. Then imagine that it goes all the way across town to the end of the state, end of the country, and all the way around the world. He said, imagine that line, put that line right here, and he said that line is not even close to the timeline that your life is in eternity. And I was like, whoa. And then he said, this space right here on that line, just this little space right here, is how long your lifetime here on earth is in comparison to that huge timeline. And I remember sitting there thinking, this much. What's the point? What's the point to anything that we're doing? What's the point to my life here on earth? What's the point? And I remembered that story when I was thinking about giving this talk. So I went to a catechism and I looked, what's the purpose of life? What's the meaning of life? Because I was searching for that. The Baltimore Catechism says the purpose of our life is to know, love, and serve God in this life, and to be with Him in the next. To know, love, and serve the Lord in this life, and to be with Him in the next. So kind of what we're going to do right now at this time is we're kind of going to break that up. We're going to start with know, and how to know the Lord. So knowing the Lord is kind of like getting to know a friend. So how would you get to know a friend? If I wanted to become friends with a person, would I go up to them and just sit in silence? No, that's not how you become friends with somebody. There needs to be talking, so okay, here we go. Hi, my name is Annalise. I'm from South Dakota. I really like my shoes. I like your shoes. I like your jeans. I got this shirt a really long time ago and it's old, and I braided my hair today because I showered, and showering's cool, I guess. And I brushed my teeth today, and I like purple, and I have a dog, and all this stuff. Like, you can't become friends with somebody by just like talking constantly. That's not becoming a friend with somebody. Becoming a friend is getting to know them too. It's having a conversation. Hi, my name is Annalise. What's yours? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Good. See, we're becoming friends. Give it up for Noelia. Thank you. So getting to know the Lord is like that conversation. It's through prayer. And you guys just had the opportunity to go to a whole bunch of different prayer stations, and knowing how to communicate, how to pray, how to have that conversation, how to grow in that relationship, that friendship with the Lord. It's really cool. Another way that we can get to know the Lord is through our intellect, through wisdom, and getting to know things about our faith and about the Lord. If you ever have a question about anything, feel free to go to anybody that you would trust to be able to give you the truth, the answer. So like Matthew or Mario or a priest. You can also go look online at Catholic.com. They have a forum where you can just type the answer or your question in, and then it'll pop up with like a whole bunch of different answers to your question. It's really cool. Okay, so the first thing was to know the Lord. The second thing is to love the Lord. So how can we love God? When I was thinking about this, I was like, all right, who are some people that I love and how do I love them? And I was like, oh, my future spouse, my husband someday. How will I love my husband? I was like, wow, well, I will put him first. I won't love anyone else above him in that way. And I will love only him. I think about loving my mom, how I love her even though she might make some decisions, make some choices, put some rules upon me that I don't necessarily agree with, but I'm going to love her and honor her in that way and respect her because she's my mom. And I'm going to serve her in that way. So like translating those things over to God. I'm going to love God first. I'm going to love him and only him. I'm going to love him and honor him and respect him even when he has rules or things happen in my life that I don't know why, that I didn't like it. And then I'm going to serve him, which brings us to the last thing, which is to serve the Lord. Can any of you give me examples, raise your hand, of things that you did for your service projects for confirmation? Raise your hand. Nobody did any service hours. I know you guys did. Yeah.
I took care of my sick grandma.
Took care of your sick grandma. That's awesome. Anybody else? What'd you do? Yeah, for your service hours. Mowed lawns. That's a good example of that. So like the service hours that you guys did is a really good example of how we can serve God. Ways that I thought of being able to serve the Lord. So if we say that Christ is in others and we see him in others, then serving and loving others is a way that we can serve and love Christ because we see him in others. I also thought of, I read an article online that stated that worship is a form of service to the Lord. So any of you who just went to the praise and worship sessions, you just served the Lord by worshiping him, which is really cool. And then doing service for his church. So like volunteering at church, doing your service hours, confirmation, different things like that. So yeah, and that was service, serving God. So you might be thinking, wow, Annalise, I know all these magical rules, now my whole entire life is going to be easy, and this whole getting to heaven thing is going to be perfect, like I've got it under control, it's going to be easy. So like, are we saying that like because you know all these things now that you're not going to have any struggles, that it's not going to be hard? No. Christianity, nothing offers a life free of suffering, free of hardships. If we look at the saints, Saint Cecilia, they tried to boil her, didn't work. So then they tried to behead her, and that didn't work either. She wound up just like bleeding out. Saint Valentine, he was stoned and then beheaded. Joan of Arc, the super awesome holy woman of God, she was burned at the stake. through the saints, we can see that suffering is never meaningless. And we can take a look at Jesus on the cross, and we can see that our suffering does not have to end in death. That it can bring us new life. And this is what makes life meaningful. So let's have a little bit of real talk. Take a look at ourselves. Do you have meaningless stuff in your life that is taking the place of meaningful stuff in your life? Do they bring you and others closer to God? Because if this meaningless stuff is getting in the way of meaningful stuff, then cut it out. Cut it out of your life because it is not worth it. It is not worth it. You were created for God. You were created to know, love, and serve Him in this life. And how wonderful it will be to be with Him next life. I have a Bible verse that I want to leave you. It's from Luke chapter 12, verse 22 through 31. He said to His disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life and what you will eat, or about your body and what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Notice the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, yet God feeds them. How much more important are you than birds? Can any of you, by worrying, add a moment to your lifespan? If even the smallest things are beyond your control, why are you anxious about the rest? Notice how the flowers grow. They do not toil or spin, but I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of them. If God so clothes the grass in the field that grows today and is thrown into the oven tomorrow, will He not much more provide for you, O you of little faith? As for you, do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, and do not worry anymore. All the nations of the world seek for these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek His kingdom, and these other things will be given you besides." Luke chapter 12, verse 22 through 31.